Hello and welcome to the start of a brand new series covering how to do online multiplayer connections. So I have done another series about online multiplayer that's more about the gameplay side of things. Now we're looking at how to set up things like hosting and joining games and lobbies and things like that, and loading up games with multiple people all over the Steam multiplayer network basically. So eventually you will need two machines running two accounts of Steam, and that's how you're going to do the matchmaking in this project. However, right now we are just worried about getting things started. So in this first episode, we're going to get things going with our UI side of things and getting that all sorted and set up, ready for some code later on. So in here, I've made an online menu subsystem folder, which is where I'm going to put all this new stuff that we're doing as part of this. I am carrying on with the code that we had previously from our previous online series, so you're going to see how we do online connections with this already set up. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is create a few actor files that we need in order for this to work. So we need, first of all, our custom game instance. Now the game instance is the very first thing that's loaded up when you perform the executable to launch. And this game instance is persistent. It's the only thing that is persistent across the whole entire game. So it's very useful for a lot of things like connection based code. So we'll call this one online game instance. Then we're going to make a save system. So as I said, the game instance is the only thing that's persistent across the whole entire game. However, the problem arises is how do you transfer information from one level to another? Or in our case, in this series, it's going to be taking information that we've entered on the menu screen over into the game, such as player names. Well, for that we need to make a save game object. So we're going to go to add and choose blueprint class, and you're going to search for save game object. And we'll call this one the player info save data. Okay. Next we're going to create the menu system. So the menu system needs a level and some widgets. Let's create a new level, and we'll call this one main menu. And we're going to double click to open it up. Okay, so you should have just a black level here, nothing in it. So as I also said, we needed some widgets. So we go to user interface and create a widget blueprint, and we'll call this one the main menu underscore UI. And this is going to act as like the parent hub of all of our UI for our main menu. So we're going to go into here and set up some basic stuff in here. So the way I'm going to do this is I'm going to have two halves, or more accurately 1/3 here and 2/3 over here on the right, with 1/3 on the left here having the menu options, and then on the right hand side changing based on what options we've chosen. So let's go over here and split that up. So first of all, what I'm going to do is a horizontal box and put that into my canvas panel. Now the canvas panel is the default widget panel, which automatically will fill up the whole available space, in this case the whole entire game screen. So in order for our horizontal box also to do the same thing, we go to the anchors and change the anchor to this bottom right one here, and change all the offsets to 0, 0, 0, 0. There we go. Next we're going to put in some other content in here. So in here I'm going to have on the left hand side a vertical box, and put that into our horizontal box there. You should see it there, fill up the whole height of it. And also going to have a widget switcher. Now what a widget switcher does is it will change its contents based on what index you give it. So this widget switcher, I'm going to make it fill up the available space that's remaining. So I'm going to hit fill, and you see it fill up the available space there. Now with vertical box, I'm going to also hit fill. As you can see, it fills it 50-50. This is not what I want in the style sense. So on the vertical box here, I'm going to change this to 0.3. And you can see now it takes up less space. Okay, I'm going to hit... Actually, let's change that to 0.5. What does that look like? Actually, yeah, I'll leave it at 0.5. That's better. Okay, so that's what we're going to leave it as there. I'm just going to name these things. So this vertical box is going to be named the menu. We call it side. We call it side menu. And the widget switcher is important that we name this because we need to access it in code later on. Is we're going to have this display as the context menu switcher. So its contents will change based on what settings we give it. Okay, alongside that, we're going to put in some background art behind the scene. So here we're going to go into our canvas panel and we're going to add a border to this. In fact, let's actually go to our horizontal box and wrap that with a border. That might be better. There we go. And we'll change the color of this brush color here. And we'll do a sort of grey color, dark grey. Okay. And I'm also going to put a border inside my vertical box here. Oh, sorry, wrap it with a border. Sorry, not put it inside it. Wrap with a border. And I'm going to put in the same color, but a slightly different shade. So I'm just going to go to the brush color, make it a darker shade, so it kind of stands. And actually, maybe a lighter shade, lighter or darker. We'll do lighter. There we are. Okay, so our menu here is going to appear on the left, and then the contents here are going to change based on what we do here. So the menu is going to contain things like host match, join match, options, things like that. Let's add those buttons in here. So I'm going to go to my side menu here, and we're going to add these buttons in. So we're going to do a button, drag that in, and plop that in there. Now, as you can see, it's putting it right at the top, which is not ideal, kind of hard to reach for the player. So I'm going to click on my button, go to the top here, and change the horizontal alignment and vertical alignment to match the center. Especially, sorry, the fill of this as well. So guys, fill. There we go. Now it will be a very small box at the moment because we haven't got anything inside of it or any padding on it or whatsoever. So we're going to add some text to that. So do text and drag that into there. So there's our text inside our button. So I'm just going to go to my text here and change the part of this to host match. And we'll change the coloring of that to be black. And I'll add some padding around this button as well. So on the button, I can now, let's actually make it stretch full width. And give it some padding on the top and bottom. Actually do a whole lot. Let's do padding of 20 around the edge there. And then on the text, we'll add some padding. Do 10. Just give us some space between it and the edge of the button. There's our host match button, and I'm going to name my button as such as well. So let's name it host match button. Oh, I won't type in host match button. Okay, with that done, we are then going to duplicate that. So right click, duplicate, and we're going to name this one join match button. Click on the text inside of our join match and change that to be join match. Now, as you can see here, the spacing of this is broken, and that is because of our alignments that we've got set up here, set to being fill. So rather than doing fill, we'll do auto and do the other one as auto. And what we're going to do is add a spacer at the top of this. So let's do a spacer. Drag that into our vertical box, and I'm going to put it above the other two there, and I hit fill on this one. Now, as you can see, it fills up the available space and pushes it to the side. So what I'm going to do is add another one and put it at the bottom. So I'm just going to duplicate my spacer and put it underneath like so, and therefore we kept these two in the middle the whole entire time while filling the available space. Excellent. So we're going to add one more button. I'm going to go in here and go and duplicate that, and this would be something like options or whatever you want it to do. So option button, and we'll change the text in there to say options. And if you will do a quick game, you do a quick game as well. Let's might as well do that. So we're going to add duplicate of that, and we'll rename that as quit button, and change the title of that to quit. And for the quit, I'm just going to change the highlight of the button slightly just to make it stand out a little bit. So change the background color just a slightly bit down, just so it stands out, being slightly different from the rest of the options available to us. Okay, so that is going to change when we click on them, change the contents of this widget switcher. So we should now be designing how these things will work. So the first thing we're going to do is design the host match button. So we're going to create the widget for that. Let's go and right click, create user widget, and do the host match screen. We also want to join match screen as well. So let's go in there, do join match screen. And we also want an options screen as well. And options screen. And we're going to go back to our main menu. I'm going to add each of those three to our widget switcher here. So to find them, you'll find them in the user center, user created section here. There you go. And we're going to add them in the order that they appear in these buttons, ideally. So I'm going to go to host, join, and options. Host, join, and options. So the contents of these will change when we tell it to select each one here. Okay, so we're going to go to host match and make that switch over to that one. So we'll go to the host match button, go to the right hand side, scroll down till you find the on click button. That, and on clicked, we're going to simply take our widget switcher and set index, and the index for this one will be 0. And 0 refers to the first item. So host is the first item in our list here. So it's very easy to do. Next we'll do the join match button. So go to join, do on clicked, and we'll do exactly the same. Copy that, paste that in, and we'll make that to 1. And finally we've got the options screen. So go to options button, scroll down, on clicked, and again paste that in, changing our widget here to 2. Go save like so. Okay, once we've done that, we're going to close that, and let's make it a bit obvious to show you which one is being which on the screen. So go to my host match screen. I'm just going to put a border in here and change the color of it. Border in there, and change the color of the brush to be we'll do red like that, and hit compile and close that. Oh wait, make it stretch the whole thing first. So 0 0, yeah. Then we go to join match, add the border to this, and again stretch that out with 0 offset, and we're going to change the color of that one to be green. That, and finally the options screen here, border in, anchor it to full screen, offset all set to 0, and change the brush color here to blue. It's just so we can see and demonstrate to you how this is working. So once we've got those going, we need to actually get this all tied up and showing on the screen for our main menu here. So we're going to go to our level blueprint for the main menu. So go to blueprints, open level blueprint, and on begin play we're going to create widget, and we're going to choose the main menu UI. Then we're going to add that to the viewport. I'll save that. And then finally we need to make our game instance be the one that's being used by the game. You do that by going to edit, project settings, And then go to the maps and modes option, which is the fourth one down. And at the bottom, you'll see game instance class, and it's set to none currently. Click on it and change it to your new one, online game instance. Close this, and we'll save everything, and hit play on here. And we should see our menu pop up. Hang on, let's not do it with duplication. Hang on. Take that all the way down. Right, standalone. Right. Okay. Ignore the game. This menu up here. This is from the old thing. But if I full screen that, you can see host, join, and options. And as I click on these, they'll change their content over here based on what menu you've got here. Whilst we're here, they will fix this. This is just a remnant from the last series in online. We'll just fix that. We're looking at the game mode and changing the game mode for this level. So let's actually create a new one. Let's go blueprint class, game mode base, and do this one as main menu game mode. And we're going to go to the world settings here and make this override to the main menu game mode. Hit save, and let's test that out. There you go. That is now hidden that menu away from us. Okay, and that'll do this for this episode. What we're going to do in the next episode is start putting in the coding behind the scenes to help us set up and host matches that the other players can join in on and find and search for. If you want to watch that next episode right now, head over to patreon.com/Ryan Laley. We can watch that part plus many other videos well before anyone else, all from just $1 a month. Thank you to all of my patrons, YouTube members, and everyone who's supporting me. It really is amazing. Thank you so much. Other than that, make sure you subscribe, and I'll see you all next time. Bye everyone.